priorities and being good to yourself. How do we balance the two? How do we run our homes, run our families in a way where we're living productive lives, being good to ourselves, and at the same time prioritizing what is important? Is it possible? My name is Leah Abramov. I'm here to share with you that it is possible to make yourself first and at the same time prioritizing your responsibilities. Stay tuned for more. Your first priority is you. You are your number one. You are human. You are not a machine. Making yourself your first priority should not be a guilt trip. You shouldn't feel bad about making yourself number one. We don't need to pity ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves as women. We don't need to prove ourselves to anyone. We don't need to make things from scratch just to be like her, even though you don't have the time, the drive, the energy, or the desire, simply to prove that you can. We are called human beings. We are not called human doings. In other words, Hashem, our God, doesn't love us just because we do things. He loves us simply because we are. We are beloved by Hashem. Sometimes some wives pity themselves on a daily basis, and their husbands and their children hear day in and day out, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I had a hard day, I had this. If you have a challenging job and you have a very intense schedule, your family already knows that you have a lot going on for you, that you're usually tired. So my suggestion is tell your family, I am usually tired. It is usually intense, but I don't think it's healthy to always tell you that. I'm happy to run this home. I'm happy to be there, but I'll tell you when I'm especially tired. So it's not good for every day in and out, day in, day out, the family to constantly hear the mother or the wife constantly pitying herself. So your attitude matters. Your family sees they don't need every detail to be reported to them. It should be a privilege to take care of our royal family. Any mother who is currently unable to take care of her family, let's say she's taking care of a loved one in the hospital, or she's having a baby and herself and she needs to recover. She can't take care of her family the way she wants to, and she really, really wants to. Every single mother wants to take care of her own family, her own children, because she knows what they need. Our families will be more sensitive to us without hearing our, the way that we pity ourselves often. If a wife is sickly, tired, not feeling well, most of us do work hard, always saying that aches and pains, are bothering her, always bring that into attention. Her husband will soon lose patience for her, and he'll be less sensitive. But a wife who is happy, coping with life, who feels healthy, who dresses well, who looks good, will be appreciated. Her husband will think that she is the most wonderful wife in the world, and her children will think that she is the best mother in the world. So what are my tips to you regarding getting our priorities straight and being good to yourself? So number one is getting organized. We know that there's only 24 hours in the day. A person who is organized can get a lot out of this time because this time will not run away from her. There's some remarkable women who can raise 15, 16 children, many children, in 2 or 3 bedrooms. The table gets taken off out of the room at night, so the beds can be pulled out. You should see the closets, the door, the cleanliness, and the way the children look. Always clean, and the way the mother looks, always serene and never rushed. Why? Because she is organized. No matter how hard it is for you, even if a child has kept you late up at night, stick to your schedule. Wake up early. You'll ruin your day for yourself and your family if you decide to sleep in and not run on schedule. If you're very tired and once you get a chance to sleep, you can sleep a little bit or take breaks in the middle of the day. So if you're in an office or a classroom, I run a classroom, so sometimes when I'm very tired, so during my lunchtime, I will take a meditation or a rest for a few minutes just to recharge my batteries. It does go a long way. Set a weekly or bi-weekly schedule. This can include meal times, time for you, date nights with your husband, mommy and me times, shopping, baking, house chores. stick to them. Will you clean the greens so to kosher them? So you want to be able to run on a schedule. The things need to get done anyway, whether you love it or you like it or you don't. We just have to do them, right? So our attitude matters, and being organized is really the key. So I personally organize my list every single time it's the summertime, because it is a different schedule, right? I work in a school, so my summers are usually off. So, and also holidays. During holidays time, it's very intense, especially when we have those Jewish holidays back to back. You want to make sure you're organized, that you constantly, try to fit everything in your schedule as much as you can. There's a difference between an orderly home and a disorganized home. Let's look at the disorganized house. In a disorganized home, children play with the other toys without cleaning up after themselves. They just go on to the next activity, even if they have a play date. Kids pile dishes in the sink or leave them on the table after eating. Children throw clothes all around the room. No one has designated chores or responsibilities. And they put things wherever they feel like it. Honestly, they will spend more time finding things if they just throw things around. In an organized home, children clean up after themselves, even if they have a play date. And they tell the play date, we have to clean up before we move on to the next toy. They wash dishes after themselves, even if it's oily. Let them wash it. Let them get into the habit of washing after themselves. I promise you it's going to get better. Children put clothes in a clean hamper and dirty clothes in the bathroom hamper. Nothing is on the floor in their rooms. Children have chores assigned to them. Everyone has obligations to fulfill. Do whatever works for you. If it's charts, if it's lists, if it's, tangibles as reinforcements, positive reinforcements, do whatever works. And there's a saying in an organized home, a place for everything and everything in its place. I was talking to a very busy mother who raised a very large family, and most of the kids are out of the house, they're married. And she told me that she loves running a house where she had people over constantly, and people wanted to be in her house, and she had a lot of kids over with her kids, playing with her kids when they were little. But overall, her house was organized in a way where she said she has explosions here and explosions there. In other words, the house is put together, but there may be some explosions. So we obviously can't run a perfect home, but you want to be as organized as you can. And yes, have those fun times. Yes, be welcoming. If that's what you like to do, have people over. Not everybody's meant to have people over all the time. But the point is to stay organized. So one of the big things I advise women very, very often to stay organized is pretend that Friday does not exist. Do not plan anything for Friday, anything, and you will feel extremely, extremely relieved and alleviated. The first time I did this, I was so I felt like something was missing, because I was constantly used to Friday coming back from work, and sometimes I'll come from work about 3:30 and I have less than an hour, not only to get ready for Shabbat, if I need to shower anyone, it would be very little time, and I also had to cook something, finish my cooking. So it would be very intense, even though, Shabbos was never canceled. But when I started doing this, it was such a lifesaver and completely bring Shabbat in a different level. So you will still have plenty of time on Friday to do something and plan for Friday to do something. You will have that kind of time, but you don't want to put anything on the schedule for Friday. So without planning anything. I was very impressed when I came to someone's house for Shabbat, and I was told that I was a guest, and we had to sleep over, me and my family, and I was very impressed that the woman of the house was resting. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And she had a ton of people over. Yes, she cooked a lot. Everything was spotless, but she is organized, and that was the key. Don't leave the family hungry for Shabbat, right before Shabbat comes in, right? Friday afternoon, have some kind of an appetizer, whether it's sushi, whether it's an egg roll, a bureka, something that the kids can eat before Shabbat comes in, even though you're intending to cook for Friday night. Remember that you are not only cooking and cleaning for your family, you also deserve to feel rested. Rest before Shabbat comes in, and your kids need to feel rested to get the most out of this holy day. Shabbat is an opening window, our sages say, to the world to come. Let's do everything we can not to make our nerves sky high. And by making and doing things last minute, we don't want to be on edge on Friday. Friday afternoon is the worst time of the week for peace in the home. The Satan goes into every Jewish home Friday afternoon, stirring arguments and making marital disputes happen. To keep him out of your home, do everything by Thursday. So if you have to buy salads, if you have to buy dips, if you have to buy dessert or appetizers, bread, you can still be put into the category of being an Eshet Chayil without actually trying to do everything from scratch. You're still an Eshet Chayil. Nowhere in the Torah is it written you have to do everything yourself. This is just something you may have grown up doing or seen doing, but that doesn't mean that you didn't make Shabbat happen. A Rebbitzin was asked by her Shabbat guest if she made the salads and dips from scratch, and she replied with a smile, "I didn't make it, but I made it happen." That was really interesting. It's true. She still made it happen. Okay, so the second one is budget your time. Sometimes you have to say no, or I would love to, but I can't. You don't have to say yes to everything and be, the Rebbitzin of Chesed. You don't have to. You don't have to yes to everyone. A person who is organized always has time. A person who is disorganized never has time. There's a saying that if you want something done, ask a busy person, because she has time for everything. And if she doesn't, she says no with a clear conscience. Without being tense about it, organize your time. The organized woman makes every minute count. If you do, you'll have a lot more of time than you think you have, and life will be a lot easier. So when you're doing household tasks, leave 10 to 15 minutes between each task in case something overlaps or in case you need to rest for 10 or 15 minutes. And I really suggest to rest 10-15 minutes before each task. It will really recharge your batteries and you'll be actually more productive. Clean up as you work. Don't save it until the end. So when you're working in the kitchen, clean up as you work instead of saving it till the end. You'll really be more refreshed and more productive. The next one is start the day off right. So you get up 15 to 20 minutes before the children do. Even if you didn't sleep enough, if you can pray. You can pray and say your blessings, morning brachot, if you can. You get dressed tastefully. Don't walk around the house in pajamas or a house robe. Sometimes you do need a pajama day, but it shouldn't be so often. It should be very rarely. So the way you look will affect the way you feel. Sometimes I'm not in the best of moods, but when I look presentable and really make that effort, I feel like it really does lift my mood a lot, and you become more pleasant to be around. You should be dressed up not just when you go shopping. That shouldn't be what the kids see. Mommy dresses up when she goes shopping. No, who are we dressing up for? I should be dressed attractive, not attracting attention. Look pleasant around the house. You are the queen of your home. Run it in a queenly fashion, right? The way I look will affect the mood I am in and my attitude. We want to send the right message to our children and our families. So we can say brachot, and we can also eat breakfast. It is very important to eat breakfast in the morning. Our sages say that the most important meal of the day is breakfast. And have you actually satiated for a longer time. Rabbi Lior Dachan cited Baba Metzia 107b. The one who eats bread for breakfast for Birkat Hamazon will be blessed in every way and have success in his endeavors. So we want to start off the day right. The next one is take care of your health. It is a precious gift. It is really easy to be healthy. It is easy to maintain, but hard to regain. Right? If we eat what Hashem created, everything that's processed and takes so much time, and I read somewhere, anything that has more than 7 ingredients really is dangerous for your health. So the less ingredients it has, the more healthy it is when it's really growing off the tree, growing off the ground. It's really healthy, right? And of course, we want to put protein into our lives, into our meal plans. The goal is to be mindful when we are also taking fresh air, exercise, good food and fresh air. That will help us regain good health and to be on top of the world. The goal is to be mindful, worry-free during our exercise, during our walks. It can only be 10 minutes, but it could be completely refreshing. Why? Because you have the right mindset. Good, healthy food will put you one step ahead of the game. So we want to bring healthy food into the house. And if you're not currently in the best of health, work on building yourself up. Make it one step at a time. One of my students who was very heavy set, his mother said to me in a parent-teacher conference that I'm going to first take him off soda with juice, and then after juice, I'm going to give him water. So it's really nice. It just takes small steps, and these steps actually become permanent habits. Taking care of your health means that you'll be able to function at peak capacity. Okay. So we want to make sure, again, to look our best. Many women drag themselves through the day like a car without gas. Some women at 2 p.m. will say, I was so busy, I had such a hard day, I didn't even get a chance to make myself a cup of coffee. That's not true. That's because she's not organized. The woman needs to be more organized. Remember, your home is a mini sanctuary. How do we look in our homes, in this holy place? Hopefully we want Hashem's Shekhinah, the divine Shekhinah, to rest in our homes. So how do we treat it? How do we look? Okay, respect yourself. Your clothing will reflect that. Look pleasant and attractive. You will feel good about yourself, and it will impact your mood. You know, there's a saying that the clothing does make a person. In the case of, there's a halakha, a law that shows that a judge cannot judge two candidates, right? A wealthy and a poor person, until the wealthy also looks like another wealthy person, until the other one is also dressed in a way that makes him look wealthy, or they're both dressed as though they are poor. So the clothing does make the person, and it teaches us that it does impact your mood as well. Number 5 is recharge your spiritual batteries. And this is a really big one. I really share this with a lot of women, that your spiritual life, your spiritual growth is a must. Just like you must go to the store, you must buy food, you must make sure your refrigerator is stacked with the right foods. You must learn, whether it's learning with a Torah mate, whether it's learning with a friend, whether it's going to learn to a shiur, whether it's reading from a book. We have no excuse these days. We have so many ways to learn. Listening to an audio when you're in the car, there's absolutely no reason not to grow spiritually. So working women should get out of the house and go to a shiur once a week. Go out for themselves once a week, even if it's not a shiur, but you want to make sure you want to learn as well. Stay-at-home moms should step out of the house twice a week for their mental health and also spiritual growth if they're going to a shiur. Don't say that you don't have time. Make the time. When there's death or birth in life, God forbid, when someone passes away, all of a sudden everybody's there for the funeral, for all the services. And when someone's born, everybody's there to also attend the services of the baby. So it's really, really important that we recharge our spiritual batteries. Chesed. Involve yourself in chesed regularly. Chesed starts in the home. Learn to say no to others if you simply can't. You're really not a bad person if you can't, right? A woman who runs her home well will be able to be a great employee, a businesswoman, and chesed, and she will be able to do chesed not at the expense of her family. In other words, her family is not suffering because she's out there trying to help the community. So say no with a clear conscience. But when you are saying yes, and when you are doing chesed, you can call someone just to say, hi, I was just thinking about you. Not to call someone constantly when you need something. To visit the elderly, cook for a family going through a hard time, or send a thank you note and mail it. The next one is, and it's a really big one, I'm not going to go into it here, is to date your spouse regularly, whether it's once a week, that's my big suggestion, and or maybe once every 2 weeks, but you want to make sure it's regular, and you want to make sure you nurture that relationship. So to wrap it up, you are your first priority. Take care of your emotional, physical, and spiritual health to maintain your batteries and to live your best life. There was a story where there was once a family with 10 children, and they were so poor the children often went hungry. One day the mother found an egg. She thought to herself, if I boil this egg and divide it into 10 pieces, each child will get practically nothing. She took the egg home and cooked it. Then she went to the bedroom, locked the door, and ate the egg. Her children knocked at the door and said, Mommy, what are you doing in there? She told them, children, I'm making you a mother. So we must make sure that we are nurtured first, and then we nurture our families. We give to our families. We don't want to be like a car without gas, right? Because that's a mother who's tense, stressed out, sleep deprived, and nobody wants to be around this type of person. You don't want to be around this type of person. So in my classes and my workshops, I always advise the ladies to practice self-care. The idea may be shocking to take care of yourself first. Many of us were raised to be great wives, mothers, and homemakers, and to give of ourselves until we drop. However, if we are too exhausted to take care of ourselves, we are no good to anyone. And we don't feel accomplished anyway, because there's always so much more to do, more things to cross off the list. So my practical tips are, the affirmation is, taking care of my physical, spiritual, and emotional health will enable me to be my best self. So this means don't overwhelm yourself. Stress in life is inevitable, but there are so many stresses we put on ourselves that are completely unnecessary. So what are those unnecessary stresses? I need to make 20 salads from scratch. I am a good homemaker. We need to live in a renovated house because most of our friends do and have more than one home invested in. Or we must go to a tropical place for vacation because everybody does. So we want to make sure to also ask ourselves 3 questions regularly to see if we're prioritizing our lives properly. Number 1, what do I regret not having done recently? Maybe it's that date night with your spouse. Number 2, when do I feel happy? Maybe when you do some self-care, right? Number 3, what would I want said about me after 120 years? What kind of person do you want to be remembered as? The one who did everything until she dropped? Or the one who was always smiling when you saw her, right? So we want to make sure that we prioritize ourselves. Nobody's going to come knocking on the door and tell us, here I am, I'm going to take care of you. We must prioritize ourselves in a way where we're being a role model to our families, running our home well with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's help. Appreciating the insights of the book Woman to Woman by Rebbe Esther Greenberg, Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.